Hi, Susan Modest here. Today I'm going to be talking with you about different types of cryptocurrencies and what really made me want to talk about this or feel like it was something that I should probably delve into and also share with you is that now there are so many initial coin offerings out there, ICOs, and people are wanting to jump on everything because they think about the fact that had they jumped into Bitcoin when it was only a couple of cents, that they would have been rich today, which is true. And so they don't want to miss the boat again. And they look for what they consider the next Bitcoin or the next altcoin that is going to increase in value like that and make them rich. So I completely understand where the ICO fever is coming from. But I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but sometimes I think it's good to remind you that there are a lot of unscrupulous people out there. And then, and even if they don't mean to what's the word I'm looking for, to deceive you in any way, it just may not pan out the way that Bitcoin did. Bitcoin was genius. And so far there is no other currency, cryptocurrency out there that has all of the features of an actual currency as Bitcoin does. And I've done other videos on why Bitcoin has such a high value along with the prices, the valuation that's going up, but why it was so genius. But I do understand that people are going to be on the search, and that's good. That's a good thing, because there could possibly be something that's even better than Bitcoin coming down the pike. And yeah, if people catch it, they're going to probably be very, very rich. So totally understand it. But at the same time, don't throw your money away. Do your research. For ICOs, there's always something called white papers. And that should tell you the background, the purpose of the currency that's being developed, what it's built on, what platform it's built on, what are the safeguards, the security measures that have been built in there. Now, you don't have to be super technical. I am not super technical. I'm learning the technical stuff as I go along, just to the extent that I feel like I need to understand it. I do try to understand it just a little bit more deeply so that I could then explain to people or have conversations with people who maybe do like to hear that technical side of things. But none of this requires a person to be technical or to understand about platforms and coding and all of that, okay? But generally, when you're looking at ICO, look for the white papers, okay? And look at the very least, what the kind of questions you need to be asking is, does this coin have a value to anybody? Does it have a purpose? Is there a community that's going to be served by this other than the community that it's being maybe crowdfunded on? There's some MLMs out there who have developed a coin, and the coin only had the value to the people circulating it within the MLM. So that's not a true cryptocurrency, and probably will never end up on an exchange. So things to think about. The other thing you can do when you're exploring ICOs are to go to Bitcoin publications. And the reason why I say Bitcoin publications is because Bitcoin publications aren't necessarily always biased to Bitcoin, but they are usually the best cryptographers, the best experts in cryptology, I think it is. Cryptography, maybe that's what it is. But basically cryptocurrency. They are the best authorities on how things are built. They are the experts, the technical experts that I was telling you that I am not. And so that if you see that between having a purpose and having an audience that's going to benefit from a coin, along with the fact that it has it's built on a strong platform and it has security measures, when you see those two things, then it could be potentially a very worthwhile ICO. and then potentially a cryptocurrency on exchanges. Okay, when it's on exchanges, that's when it becomes a true cryptocurrency. So just keep those things in mind. I am going to break down for you a couple of the most common cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, as I said when I first started this off, is number one. And so I will just start there. It was started by Satoshi Nakamoto, and you're going to see me refer to my notes because I did research for you guys. And it was started around 2009, well, in 2009, and it was said to have been started in a response to the economic problems that the world and the United States experienced around 2007, 2008. And so it was basically a genius, or maybe even a group of geniuses, because nobody really knows the identity of Satoshi, that got together and thought about all of the issues with the current economic banking system and created Bitcoin in response to that, so that something like that didn't have to happen again. So as far as liquidity, 98% liquidity on exchanges, which means that's it's easily traded. 21 million, that's all that will ever be mined. And so that limited supply, along with more demand, is why you see Bitcoin prices going sky high, along with other people getting into the whole currency and acquiring more of it. So the supply is becoming less and less, where the demand is becoming higher and higher. It's decentralized, peer-to-peer. There is identity protection. Now, there's a certain amount of anonymity to it, not in the sense of the transactions being anonymous. They are not. They are actually on a ledger that anybody can see. And it's always going to go by transaction numbers, and people will be able to see every transaction that has ever occurred. Now, where the identity protection comes in is they don't know from whose wallet those transactions occur. And it works anywhere, all the time, no bank necessary. So that's why it's decentralized. The next biggest one is Ethereum. Actually, let me go back to Bitcoin for a second. Bitcoin today is between 5,900 and 5,700. That's just the normal volatility. There was also a fork a couple days ago, and so that always kind of makes things kind of like slow down in the market. And when that happens, we can see a slight drop. And there's another one coming around November 16th, I believe it is, and that's going to be something else to watch. I'll do a video about that before it happens, but for that reason, we're staying someplace around 5,700 is probably the safe place to think of it. Ethereum is the next highest valued and probably the next most known cryptocurrency. It's considered an altcoin because anything that's not Bitcoin is an altcoin currently. Now, here's the thing. It's valued about $306 when I last checked the exchanges a couple of minutes ago. It is decentralized, but not in the terms of a currency. It's a decentralized platform. So the Ethereum platform is its power. And so the applications that are built on that platform have enormous potential, enormous value, because there's built-in fraud protection there. There's no censorship that would be possible with applications built on the Ethereum platform. No third-party interference. And so those are all great things for society, potentially. But that's really where its value lies. So is there an application, are there a group of people who are going to want that that platform, the Ethereum platform? Absolutely. So that's where its value comes from. At this point in time, liquidity is very high, and some people want to think that it's going to rival Bitcoin, and I think it might rival Bitcoin as far as high prices always. I also think that popularity, it can probably get up there, but it's not really designed to be the same kind of cryptocurrency that Bitcoin is. But liquidity is very high, 85%. We do know who the brainchild of that one was. It's Vitalik Buterin, and it was created around 2015. Right now, there are 95.4 million Ethereum units available. And it looks like, based on my research, that that one doesn't really have a limit, probably because of the fact that it is a decentralized platform as opposed to necessarily a currency. So look into that. Make sure you understand. And Ethereum has its value, but in what sense? In what framework? Litecoin. Litecoin's another one. A lot of people call that baby Bitcoin. Right now, that's approximately $56 on the exchange. Liquidity is about 76%. It is also peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, also decentralized, and it's based on the Bitcoin protocol. So again, that's why it's called baby Bitcoin. That one was developed by Charlie Lee in 2011. And there's approximately 84 million that will ever be mined. And right now there are 53.6 million already in circulation. Transaction time is faster than with Bitcoin, but it doesn't yet have that kind of strength and that kind of applicability that Bitcoin has. So, but Litecoin, because of all the things that I just mentioned, has some merits to it. So that's one you might want to think of adding to your cryptocurrency portfolio as well. And as long as you have some of that at $56 a coin, if it does end up having the application that Bitcoin does, you could be a very happy camper as well. Excuse me, I have a cold. Another one is Monero, and that's approximately $88 right now. Liquidity is around 68%. It's also decentralized cryptocurrency. Its main focus is on privacy. So for this one, there really truly is anonymity compared with Bitcoin, where I told you that all transactions are viewable and available, but we don't necessarily know who the transaction came from. But with Monero, the entire transaction is anonymous and untraceable in addition to that. So there's about 18.4 million that will ever be mined, and 15.3 million already in circulation. So that one's pretty close up there. And it was developed around 2014. Zcash is the third highest of the ones that I'll be talking about as far as valuation and prices, and that one's $233 today. Liquidity is about 72%. It's also decentralized. The focus is also on privacy and anonymity, and it's considered the first permissionless cryptocurrency. So let's see. Moving my notes around. Dash is another one. I'm sure you guys have heard that. Actually, that's the third highest. That's about 276 today. Liquidity is about 70%. Peer-to-peer, privacy and anonymity is the focus. It was created around 2014. What all of these cryptocurrencies or these altcoins are trying to do is they're trying to take whatever was the criticism or the weakness of Bitcoin, and they are obviously trying to capitalize on that, improve on that, which is a good thing for all of us. It's a good thing for society to have that ability to work on being even better than something that was good. It just hasn't gotten there. It hasn't met all of the bullet points that Bitcoin has yet, but it is still possible. There's instant transactions with Dash. Dash actually stands for digital cash. It's private, it's secure, and let's see, 22 million out there, and there's 7 million in circulation. So not even close to half on the Dash. So half on the Dash. Thought that rhymed for a second, but no, sorry, it doesn't. So yeah, so those are some of the more popular altcoins. They all have their merits. They're all cheaper than Bitcoin. And when you think in terms of, is there value? Are there people who are looking for it? Yes, because they are, most of them, aside from Ethereum, are actual cryptocurrencies, and they've tried to look at where Bitcoin was lacking, and they are trying to improve on that. Haven't quite met the mark yet, but they can. You know, the coders can always make some improvements. And if they did, we could be looking at something that would rival Bitcoin in application, in acceptance and usage, and possibly then in valuation. And if that's the case, and if you were holding some of these, then you might be very, very happy. Moral of the story, be careful just buying ICOs thinking that it's going to be the next Bitcoin without understanding anything about it, because most of the hundreds of ICOs out there, and even the cryptocurrencies, will probably not really amount to much. If you're not investing a lot right now, which you shouldn't have to if they're, you know, they're really cheap, even cheaper than what I've just talked about, you know, you should be able to put in a small amount and let it and see what happens without losing a lot. With the other ones that I've just talked about, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Zcash, and Dash, they have all shown some value. They have shown some application. They are already on exchanges. And so they are the kinds that are worth having in your cryptocurrency portfolio. So hopefully that was helpful in kind of breaking down what all of this ICO and altcoin talk is about, and also to give you maybe a place to start as you do your research and things to look for. And I always recommend that you do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I am just a person who is very passionate about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and what it could do for worldwide economics and for worldwide financial freedom and what it's doing for people right now. And so I want to encourage people as much as I can to get educated, get informed, and then start getting active. And, you know, there's ways to earn all of these without necessarily having to shell out a lot of money on buying them, and that is to have them mined for you. I gave you the numbers of, you know, what they expect to be mined on most of these. Ethereum was the only one that didn't seem to have a cap. And so, but Ethereum can be mined as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description box to a platform that you could use to mine all of the things that I've just mentioned, each and every one of the ones I've mentioned. No ICOs in this particular link that I'm going to be giving you. All the ones that I talked about that are already on the exchanges have already shown merit, just, you know, from Bitcoin going through, that have the different range of prices. This is the kinds that you want to have, and you want to see like what it does over time. Okay, so I will put a link for what I am using to mine all of those, rather than having to buy more and more each time. So let me know your thoughts. You can comment below this video and reach out to me on Facebook. I'll put a link for my Facebook profile in the link as well. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.